this is Amy with Flower Moxie, and I'm going to show you how to do a pew holder with flowers, with fresh flowers. So what I have here is an Oasis pew holder. It's with wet foam. I've pre-soaked it, and we're going to hook this on the back of a mirror. So this will hook on nicely to like any type of chapel or church pew. You've seen me use attach chair flowers with zip ties, but those large wooden pews, that would be a lot of zip ties, a lot of mechanics that you would have to cover up. So Oasis already thought through that, and we have these that can hook on. Okay, so I would recommend making this, obviously not on site and with some towels, because with this wet foam, you are gonna have some dripping. Once you get all your flowers in it, it shouldn't drip anymore. You will need some Oasis floral adhesive. I'll show you how I put it on the end of the stem, but for the video, I'm not gonna put it on every one just to make the video go a little bit faster. And that's because people typically bump into these. You don't want them falling out. Even though the foam is pretty good at holding it, it's better to have some floral adhesive. Okay. So I have loads of greenery. It doesn't take a lot, and what we're gonna do is we're going to work on covering the mechanics, and then we're gonna backfill with our flowers. And so I like to cover this plastic part, and so I'll start with my less expensive, more filler greenery like Salal, Leatherleaf. Both are pretty, but I think the more attractive greenery will be the Italian Ruscus, Nagy, which we don't have a lot of today, maybe some seeded eucalyptus. So we'll start with our coverage, then we'll backfill with our blooms. On the blooms, we're using burgundy carnations, quicksand roses, and I'll put some thistle in there because that's what we have today. Okay, so let's get started. So on the glue, you can put it on a little plate. I find that it sets up a bit quickly. So I've learned that I really just like to put it on each piece of, whoa, that's runny. Put it on each piece of greenery as I'm inserting it. So you can decide how extra you want to get with it. The floral glue is very runny and sticky at first, especially a new bottle. So kind of be a little bit conservative about it and have a plate down. It doesn't take a lot. Okay, so we've already covered up our mechanics. See, it didn't take a ton. And now we're gonna come back in with these shorter pieces. I'm cutting away these lower pieces of the fern and the leather leaf. And I'm just backfilling, I'm just going around. Because they're pew flowers, we don't want them to be huge. I kind of use this to set my margins. And this is great for broken pieces. So you're gonna strip off pieces when you're working here with your flowers. You're gonna break pieces, but nothing is trash until the very end. That's trash for sure. And I'm kind of setting my shape, but then I'm also coming in and I'm backfilling and putting those greens to come forward at me. It doesn't take a lot. I always like to have a variety of greenery, but the total amount of greens, I would say it's probably a half bunch or less total. I would probably get 8 to 10 pew holders done with just one bunch of salal if I was mixing it with other things. So this just kind of shows you that it doesn't take a lot. I like them to cascade a little bit down the pew. You can decide for yourself what shape you like. We're going to start layering over the salal up top. you have really wide aisles and you're more blocking it, you may not need to glue it. But if they're more narrow and you're having a lot of people, a lot of kids, you may want to glue it. So here's the thing about Italian ruscus. I love it, but you only get 5 stems to the bunch. I feel like that would obviously be like way too long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it to about the length we want. But I don't really wanna waste this part. I don't like a cut end, but we can hide it. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Pull the slower piece off. That's still something to work with. Where's that cut piece? Okay. So we'll let the pretty pieces hang over this. And on an aisle marker, it's not so front page. Okay, so I have it greened out. I only used 2 pieces of this Italian ruscus. I cut it up and I backfilled the blunt pieces within the greenery. We have it pretty much all greened out. You can still see some of the foam, and now we're gonna backfill with our flowers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put thistle in it, and I'll start with that. It's super tough. I don't like to put expensive flowers in the aisle arrangements. Like, I probably wouldn't put like ranunculus, things like that, because they're smaller, they're more delicate. You're not going to get those up close photos. But I mean, obviously if my bride wanted it and had the budget for peonies and ranunculus and their pew flowers, and we could absolutely go for it. But using hardier things, just so you get that like real full look with the greenery, you get your color palette that you're wanting. You can achieve that with like roses, carnations, things like that. Stock, snapdragons, those would be nice. This rose is so open, I don't really even need to reflex it. So you can see this water is dripping down. That's why you probably don't want to do it actually at the church on the pew. If you are able to build it on site the day before, just put a towel beneath you, that way you don't get water on the floor. I'm gonna adjust these because I don't like the way these are like perfectly aligned up. How about when you build something, you're like, I don't like it. Okay, so I had to like get back and adjust it. I had those aligned kind of weird and I just needed to fill it out a little bit more. It's kind of hard working at an angle. So added a little bit more greenery, repositioned some things, but very basic, very easy. It looks really full and it will clip onto those church pews very nicely. You could keep it simple and just do greenery and backfill with just a few roses, or you can be more elaborate. So if you have any questions, then leave them in the comments below. Visit us at flowermoxie.com, and thank you so much for joining us.